Hello, hello. Back from the break, I am Wormslayer2146, and we'll continue to check out a few demos today as part of the Tiny Teams Festival. We are celebrating games made by teams of 5 or fewer people, quite often just one person, which is always impressive. No matter how much I complain about the game, it's still impressive. The games we're checking out today, they're all publicly available demos this time round. However, as part of the event, I did receive some access keys from Yogscast Games, who are hosting the whole thing. So you should consider the whole thing an advert for them and for the games we're playing, and so on, is a hashtag ad, regardless, because I did receive those things. Only fair that you should know about that. Not that it's going to affect how much I complain about things or what we're doing. There's no kind of agreement in place for anything like that. They just gave us some stuff. We're checking it out. We'll see. The next one that we're checking out, the Settlings. It's an interesting one. I loaded it up to make sure it works before and worked out what it is, what they're trying to do. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen other games before trying to do this. Let's hop in and we'll start taking a look. There is a tutorial. Should we do that? That's usually a good idea, right? Let's go for it. I don't think it's so complicated that you need to do a tutorial. It's quite a basic thing, but we'll do it anyway. I'm covering some of the tutorial text. I'm not sure what I'll get in the way of, but I should move down for the time being, I guess. Let's go down a little, over a little. Hang on, not there. Let's give that a go. It's better for now, at least. There's probably something else that appears behind my face and we can move again. Just a short tutorial, okay? I mean, it's a demo. It doesn't need to be a long one. That's fine with me. Bring the 5 settlings to the Zeppelin at the top of the screen. Focus and read through the steps to do. Won't baby spoon you. That... improve the tutorial in the future. Like, fine, whatever. A bit more professional. Improve your tutorial in the future, that's fine. Press space to continue. Okay. Every time a settling hits the sign with an exclamation mark. So, to be clear, we're down here. The blue portal is where the settlings are spawning. The game will pause anytime they hit the exclamation mark. Good. To tell us something, I guess. That makes sense. It works. You can place objects, buildings, and distribute tools while on pause. Using 1, 2, and 3 we can change the speed. You know I love it when you can speed a game up. We've got different speed options at the top and all. Always like that. Unpause. Here we go. He's hit it. We paused. What are we learning about next? Camera. Sure. Pan with the usual. Good. The usual camera controls. All behaving how they should. Next up. Can finish the tutorial in 9 minutes and 37 seconds. Or is it a speedrun game then? You can hover things over to read stuff again, and we can hover over for tooltips, sure. Settlings interact with objects on contact. We can click on stuff. Right mouse button on the directional sign. Okay. Watch how easy it is to tell this. I should probably zoom in to make it a bit obvious. But he walked in the direction that arrow's pointing. We right click to turn the sign around, and then he can presumably bounce off the wall and walk back. And when he reaches the end, he'll drop down, hit that wall, bounce back and walk over. So you can see it's a mixture of village building and lemmings, which is kind of interesting. It's you can tell already from the graphics and the way the tutorial's been written that it's like a small production, not trying to be too much, I guess, or too complicated. And that's fine, you know, it's advertised as such. I just don't know why there haven't been more Lemmings rip-offs or hybrids or whatever, you know, it's kind of interesting. Can right mouse button on any object that controls movement, sure, or resource flow, like a campfire, so I can switch my campfire on and off with right click. Okay, or activate, deactivate lifts, I guess, whatever lifts do. Right mouse button on a building can stop production and prevent the taking of resources. Sure. click the campfire to turn it off? Oh, because if he walks over a campfire while it's on, is he going to burn him? I don't know. I'm not sure I want to find out. One high block they can climb up. Good to know. Wooden ladders are weak constructions holding one settling at a time. You can climb ladders only if they're not carrying anything. You can place them over the dirt blocks. And off we go. Okay. So you can climb up, but only one at a time on the ladder. That's interesting. And only if they're empty-handed. Worth knowing. Plenty of resources you can gather or craft in buildings. Basic ones are wooden, logs, and stone. I mean, yep. Village town building game. That's what you'd expect. Wood and stone. You can gather them from the map. You need tools to do that. And you need tools to finish a building. To do three things in this order. Take the axe and give it to the settling. Wait for them to hit a tree and chop it down. Deliver that to the building site. Take a hammer, he'll build it. Yeah, I mean, it's Lemmings. If you're used to that kind of gameplay, you'll kind of get the hang of it pretty quick, I'm sure. So we chop. He's hit a tree already. There we go. He decided that's the tree he wants. Oh, it wasn't mature. This was the first mature tree, which he's chopping down. And off he goes. It says, I hope you have a good memory, but all you have to do is mouse over this sign and it tells you what to do. Sure. Delivers the wood to the building that needed wood. It's this sign, which is a bit early, because I need him to bounce off the wall before I can give him the hammer. Start rolling stones. If this building is still not built, wait until we build it. Well, that's inevitable. I guess unless you can catch him after he puts the log, does the delivery, pause the game, give him the hammer. Maybe I missed an opportunity there. Who cares? Doesn't matter. We want to upgrade the building using stone. Fine. You give him a pickaxe, he'll get some stone, and off we go. But first, yeah, give him the hammer. Next thing he reaches that needs a hammer, he hammers. It's interesting. It's something, I think the music, I'm not sure if I've heard it stop or if it's just unbalanced, which we've seen in other games. Some of the tracks are quieter than others, and I've turned the volume down so the loud ones don't hurt my ears, and now the quiet ones we can't really hear. Not a big deal. This, I'm not sure it's told us. But when you build a thing, you get a reward for building it. So if I click that, I get the 7 money or whatever that is. Coins. He's going to climb back up. I'm going to give him a pickaxe now. He's going to pick that bit of rock there. Building, I guess this was a house? Yeah. It's caused 2 other settlings to spawn. I can see myself accidentally calling these guys lemmings quite often, so sorry if that happens. And then he's going to walk back and forth. I've got nothing to give them. He's chopped that, taken the stone. Stone goes on the house. And then we are rewarded with a hammer that we can use to build something else. Now this wants, I don't know, something there I haven't seen before. This guy made it up the ladder and hit that sign, so he's triggered this. We've managed to get here in just player looks at timer. Oh, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be telling me to look at the timer, or if that is a broken bit of code. Either way. The objective here is to bring 5 settlings to the Zeppelin. Currently we only have 4, so we're going to need to build another house to get more people. Or settlings. I'm not sure if they are people. Take the building from the bottom bar. Choose the house. And place it on one of the available slots. House. There's a slot there, but is it a good one? Because we're going to need wood and a bit of stone. But we can't build down here. We could build all the way down here, but I don't think they're going to go back down. Let's build it here. It's next to the sign that said to build it. He's gone this way. People build bridges because they look good and they have a purpose, sure. Bridges are weak construction, only one settling on a bridge at a time. And you can't jump on it, whatever that means. Choose a resource for bridges, signs and lifts to better control flow. But this is disabled in the tutorial, okay. So you could be like, only wood is allowed this, or over this bridge, or up across this sign, or, yeah, sure, whatever. A later thing to learn. Take the wooden bridge from the bottom bar, place it so that we can get over to the lumberjack. Oh, we just kind of, it saw the span and it built across it. That's kind of good. I clicked in the gap and it filled the gap with bridge. Nice. So they're heading this way. If a settling reaches the lumberjack's hut, they'll pick up an axe. That's what that green arrow to the side of the top means. That's available here. They'll then hit the next tree, chop it down, get a log, and so on. I guess we're about to find out. Need to turn him around somehow. And everyone else is just going to come up here too. It's a thing, the whole Lemmings thing, is you need to keep an eye on everyone and their flow and where they're heading and what they're doing. And it'd be nice if we had the signs, we could just lock everyone down. I think I would find it, or will find it, very overwhelming having all the dudes around, but we'll see. Okay, last step. Buy and place a personal lift. Buy items from the bottom bar with right click. So personal lift is there, it costs 20 coins. I could right click and get one, sure, but I need money. If you've collected the coins from the houses we build, well, we can't have built this house yet. Because you need to take that axe, and this sign is before again. Okay, it's early. The tutorial needs reworking. You know, the dev needs to really think about the experience of the player. Not about just getting the information across, but how are they going to play? What's actually going to happen? There's some things that can be flexible, but in this case, like it's a fixed point. You're going to hit this sign with a dude immediately after picking up the axe. You need that axe in order to build this house. Doesn't matter where you put the house. You have to cross them. There's 3 boxes on the floor here. So when you say, if we've collected from building them, well, we haven't built the second one yet. We can't have built the second one yet. So yeah, a bit. I don't know. Not sure, but a bit. Who knows? Oh, we did miss something over here, I guess. So the lit campfire, they must have hit that and bounced back. So if we unlight the campfire, they'll cross over and read this sign over here on the left. Okay. I may have missed something there. Interesting. We'll need to sell 3 wood to get the coins after we've built the other house. We'll have enough then. If we have the money, buy the lift, place it on one of the 3 boxes here, and it'll lift us up into the winning area. Fine. I'm more concerned that they're going to go off the edge. So the lit campfire at the edge here is going to stop them falling down to where this skeleton is looking all scary under there. Okay. Pretty sure the music has stopped now. It's not just a quiet one. Which many games do this. The music doesn't play non-stop, but I hate that personally. If you've got music, play it all the time. Put a setting in. What was that game? I can't even remember now, but there was a game I was playing recently where you chose the time frame between music tracks. You could have some or none or whatever. As always, you're releasing something to mass market. The more choices people have, the better. Optional tooltip. So that's someone's crossed over that campfire unlit over here. We can speed up some things. Mana is used to cast spells. Okay. Mana, I'm assuming, is the blue crystal in the top left. Spells are located on the left bar. So we've got Work, Frenzy, Parachute, Bubble, and Punch. 10 so that we can play around with. Speed stuff up as whatever. You can use the soap bubble to reach the next ramp faster. Okay. Learn more about that in the game, sure. To generate, you need a cauldron and food production, which is presumably not happening in the tutorial. I'm still not stuck, but thinking of how they began the tutorial by saying they're not going to spoon feed you everything, but they are spoon feeding you most things, and the little bits they're missing out, like you can click on the reward from the, when you build a building you can click on it to get the thing, and what these spells do is like an optional thing you need to know to turn that campfire off. I don't know, what's the point of a tutorial if it doesn't teach you? You know, why have a tutorial if you're not going to tell everyone everything? Bit weird. There's also no... Okay, so soap bubble, but what does it do? I guess we have to experiment to find out. Fine, we're going to soap bubble that. Just in case, I'm going to let him bounce off the back wall. Then I'm going to soap bubble him. And he lifts up. Right, that's what I'd expect. Lifts up and drifts to the left for some reason. Is this just to the nearest surface? Don't know. Cargo lifts over here. You deliver a resource. They give you the ability to deliver the resource directly to the building. So you have to have a building above. You can't just deliver up to nowhere. That makes sense, I guess. You can't put stuff on the ground in the game. You just, someone is carrying it or whatever. Fine. If you haven't delivered the logs to the construction site for the house, you can close the lift by right-clicking. Okay. I mean, if you weren't spoon-feeding me, then why did you put that there? That's very spoon-feeding and very much needed to stop me making a mess here. Appreciated. Build the house. So be careful. Right. There's a finite number of trees in this tutorial world. I guess in the real world you can plant new ones or something. But fine. He's going to bounce off the campfire. Good. I kind of want to switch it off so that someone drops off the edge here and we learn what this is going to tell us about skeleton things. What's the point of a tutorial if you don't learn? No idea what happened with that bubble. Guy drifted up and fell down. We spent 5 mana and nothing happened. So I guess you got to use it in exactly the right spot to get them to drift where you want them. Yeah, not sure the real purpose in this context of that. Parachute. Cause them to parachute down the next free space, so they wouldn't. That's interesting. When do they jump off and when do they not jump off? Like, would he ignore the bridge and drop down if I gave him a parachute? Doubt it. Anyway, what are we missing here? I need them to stop chopping down everything they meet. So let's switch off the lumberjacks. Need to give this guy a hammer. 1 wood was already delivered. Now he needs to build the building. That's not bad, actually. If you can just switch everything off, might not cause too much of an issue. If you switch that back on, they can now deliver the lumber into the shop up here, which should give us the money we need. Cool. There's the money we need for building that. We don't have a pickaxe to upgrade that house. Fine. 2 new dudes are made from that house being done. So yeah, now we just leave them, let them have axes. They can chop down all the trees now, as long as we get the money for it. And am I going to make someone drop off the edge? I think I am, just so we can learn what this sign says. So the last one down here. Ah, he's loading one up. It takes some time, so he doesn't get to deliver his. Interesting. Curiosity will help you enjoy the game. If you say so. Settling will jump down and die, because we don't have any weapons. Settlings respawn. Cool. It's unlike lemmings then. Click on the campfire above to set the fire on, and there we go. Yep. And don't, I mean, that bit at the end there, focus on finishing the tutorial. You just told me that curiosity will help me enjoy the game, so you're telling me not to, I don't know, there's a mixed message there. Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to be funny or something. It's not working. It's not landing. For me, personally. Just give me a tutorial that teaches me to play the game in the most efficient manner. I mean, deliver the information in the most efficient manner. And then make the game fun. There we go. We have our money. Sold enough logs. So if I switch that off, they'll stop chopping them. And that'll do for now. We can now buy a lift. So right click to buy one, and then left click to place it. Does it do the same? So we just click in it. Oh right, it makes the lift, and that's going to work out where the next surface above it is when someone gets in it, I guess. I hope. I mean, there's a guy coming now. In he goes. Up he goes. One at a time, I assume, like everything. Other guy's just going to cross over until it comes back down, I guess. Cool. Cool, cool. For any particular reason, we have a settling here with an item or resource in hand. And that's why you can't climb the ladder. Punch them, and the item will fall out of their hand. Okay. Punch is a free spell. If someone's carrying something, they'll drop it. We're lucky enough they didn't come up here carrying anything, so we don't need to worry about that. Still curious about this. If I work frenzy this guy, what does he do? He moves faster. Sure. It would be nice if these tooltips weren't just the name, if they were a description of what happens, because I assume there's more than 4 spells in the game overall. I'm just going to forget what they do unless it's really, really obvious. A secondary tooltip or something, if you hover over it for longer, it'll tell you what it's actually going to do. If you need help or suggestions, come to their Discord, of course. As with any gaming development, they'll have a Discord server. If you're interested in the game, go there. Chat with people about it. Okay. So this guy's going to cross back over, jump into the ship. Someone delivered an extra log over here. Good for them. Everyone else just needs to go back and forth, back and forth. Speed time up. Let them go back and forth. Still not sure what the parachute does or how I could test it. Can I parachute you? Oh, okay. Literally where they're stood. So they can be on a flat surface. If you parachute them, they'll drop down to the next flat surface. Interesting. Cool, 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 cool. Speed time up and get these guys up there. Off he goes. One guy left behind. Okay. Not a great tutorial, but we've learned what we needed to, so not the worst thing in the world. I'm sure there are tutorials out there that teach you literally nothing, so not bad. Okay, we can play the demo world. Forest Island. Forest is spelt wrong. I'm guessing this is not... Actually, from that language in that tutorial, maybe. English language, not the first language of the devs, which... fine. The good thing about releasing a demo or even the early access option is you can just put it in front of a bunch of people and they'll tell you what you've spelled wrong. Okay, use the siege workshop to eliminate dangers coming from the deep sea. Free the construction site, complete the lighthouse. This will allow ships to bring the settlings to the desert regions and the mountains and the other non-demo worlds that will come in the later game. In this mode we have unlimited amount of time to do what we want, but there's no saving because it's a demo alpha or whatever. That's fine, you know. Here we are. Let's pause things up and take a look at what we're dealing with. Try and identify those things it mentioned. So up here, there is a lighthouse. Can I... Didn't notice this in the tutorial or not. Can you keep the tooltip open? No, if I move my mouse, the tooltip closes. So sometimes I need the cursor to follow the words so I can keep things straight in my head, and I like the tooltip to be open. If I click on it, it would be nice if it stayed open, but okay. Lighthouse is a quest building, sure. Requires some advanced resources and is guarded by a dragon. I see, a skeletal dragon. Okay. Sure. Need to deliver stone something and 2 somethings. Again, it'd be good if that tooltip could stay open, so I could take my cursor over the other resources in there, and they could have a tooltip telling me what on earth they are. Fine. There's a dragon. Can't click on that or get a tooltip or anything. Sure. We've got, so our spawn point is here. They're going to drop down to this level. There's skeletons all over the place with boxes keeping us mostly safe, unless we're not careful. We're going to bounce back and forth a bunch. Ladders all over the place. Could do with a bridge to take us over to the siege workshop. Produces 10 ballista bolts and automatically fires them in the enemy's direction. Ballista is not the most accurate weapon, but the ammunition is quite cheap. Okay, wood and stone makes bolts. They're going to shoot. That's what my face is in the way of. A little octopus monster on the side of the screen there. You can just about see him under the bottom. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the enemy. Here I am. With my tentacles. Very nice. Not a great look, but this is obviously from what has been said in the tutorial and on the screens and everything like that. This is an early alpha of the game. I think they're just trying to get their core concept in front of people. You know, the mix of town builder and lemmings, which is clever, but they need to, yeah, polish a lot. The graphical style as well. If this is the final graphical style on full release of the game, I'd be a bit disappointed. It could do with work, and hopefully it just gets that over the development. You know, many games do polish over time. Okay, we don't have a huge amount of space. Or maybe we do. I guess I don't really know how much you need, but let's unpause. A dude will jump in and we'll get a welcome message. Build a thriving settlement. Of course, we can do that. Construct some houses to increase population. We've seen how that works already. Get the materials to the siege workshop. And then complete the lighthouse. Nice, there's an objective. Always good. There are more spells. I thought there would be. Mana shield. Ooh. There's a tooltip if you hover over them. Did I miss that in the tutorial? Maybe I did. Maybe it wasn't in the tutorial. Nice. There's a tooltip that tells you what the spell does. We can summon a dirt block. We can move a building. We can punch people. Good. Where do you even start? We've been given 10 free hammers, axes, and pickaxes. 25 buildings. Don't know what that means. 25 options? Or we can build 25 of them for free? I doubt that. This UI is reasonable. Not the best thing in the world, but it's considering. You know, that's quite reasonable setup. It's got a scroll bar. I like that. I guess the first thing is to get a house, get more people, build from there. So, again, where? I don't know. We just have to start building. Build a house on the edge there. Give this guy an axe. There we go. He'll chop that tree down and make himself a house. Sure, I do like that spot. We're just learning the game. We're just taking a look. It doesn't matter. I don't need to concern myself with everything, do I? Do need... So... Let him bounce back off the other wall. Give him the hammer. And he can build that. So all these things down here. So a dummy can hold tools, weapons and spells and distributes them to visiting settlings. Interesting. So if I give him an axe, does that mean he then has infinite axes to give to everyone? I assume not. I assume someone puts an axe in, someone else takes it out. Confused by that, but maybe that's for the advanced players, not me. Mana cauldron takes food to make mana. A vegetable bed, you get that money. Essential for basic food production. Carrots can be planted immediately. Grapes require wooden plank to support them, if you say so. The lifts and a balloon that takes cargo down. Cargo lift up. Signage, fire camps within them, bridges, ladders, blocks and so on. Okay. Most of it making some sense. We need stone to upgrade. What does upgrading do? So level 1, it fits 2 people. If we upgrade, it'll fit 1 more. And upgrade again, it'll fit 1 more. Okay. Okay. We're 24 here, so I don't know, is there a... We built a house and the number's gone down. Is there a cap? You can only build 25 buildings in total? Not sure. We certainly need a shop. But we need to not get rid of all of the wood that exists here. So forestry, lumberjack and shop in order to set up a loop there, maybe? So forestry, if not occupied, the building gives your settling a tree sapling. So I guess if their hands are empty, they get a sapling. The next empty dirt block they find, they're going to plant it. There's a 65% chance that it succeeds. That doesn't really matter, I guess. Kind of want to limit that in some way, so they don't plant them literally everywhere. Lumberjack will give them an axe, and then the shop will take the result. Not sure how we're going to make that work. Some clever signage. I think the forestry is worth getting. We might say maybe this patch here is going to be where we grow trees. So if we put the forestry in a bit, buy myself a sign, put it here. Ooh. And I want... I'm not sure how this works, we're going to have to fiddle with it, but I want saplings, yeah, to go to the right. So if they've got a sapling, they don't climb up. I'm hoping that's how that works, we'll see. We're going to need to do some chopping. But I want them to chop down the trees up here more than anything, so we can clear that space for building stuff. No idea if that sign works. We'll see how it goes, I guess. And then hammer. Make ourselves our forestry. See what happens. Learn a bit about the rules of how you get people doing what you want. Oh, it gives you 2 free signs when you do that. Interesting. That appears to have worked perfectly. He picked up a sapling and plants it. Fine. He picks up a sapling, bounces off the sign, plants it in a gap, and so on. Interesting, though. He's carrying a sapling, and the forestry just has 1. That's good. So it's not constantly making saplings. The other 2 guys aren't going to end up picking them up and everyone gets stuck down here. This building spawns a sapling. It's the one in this guy's hands, and that's the end of that. So he's our sapling guy. We do need to chop it all down. But there's no point in chopping it down if we can't put it somewhere. Is there a storage? Mining, building, lumberjacking. There's a shop. That's a kind of storage. Why don't we get that then? Put a shop. I guess here. Oh, that needs 2 logs and 2 of something else. I'm not sure I'm going to have enough axes to get this done. Oh, well, you know, if we have to restart, we restart. Not a big deal. We're learning. What is that? Forestry, mining, building, a well. Makes water, I guess. Cooking. Ah, hello. A lumber mill. Right, that's a plank. Build. Lumber mill. I can't. Why can't I build a lumber mill? Building is a 5x3. It's a big building. Maybe that's why I can't. What could we do about that? Chop down more, but I don't really have enough axes, so let's give ourselves a lumberjack. We might just have to be wasteful with some resources until we can... As long as we can get an infinite loop going, it'll work out in the end. I guess he's going to be there. Why not? Try and chop down those trees that are in places I don't want them first. Might take an extra minute. I should be pausing more. That's something to consider. Easier to control them if you pause them, give them the tool, and then let them on their way after. Quite like to chop down this tree. I think they skip it though. When they drop down, they jump and they fall on the next one, so I need him to do it on the way back. Worth knowing. You can carry that log around for a while till I find somewhere to put it. This guy We'll build the, whatever that was, lumberjack. Well, I did end up having enough access and not needing it yet, but worth investing in that to get it for sure. Can I now put the lumber mill on that space? Oh, that's going to need some stone. Okay. Fine. I got some free axes from building that. Fine. Might switch off the lumberjack for now, time being. And manually control. I want to chop that one down. I want you to chop down the next one you find. Good. And then we need some stone, which is only a temporary thing, I guess. We've got some pickaxes. I don't think we need to set up the whole mining thing yet. You. Fine. Hopefully that guy with... Yeah, he's going the other way now, so I've got time to put a sign in here, which will say saplings, and then we rotate it with right click. And he can keep mining out a bit of stone. And he won't go and lay trees out all the way to the east as well. But I think that's more than enough we have there, we'll see. The first bit of stone was used to upgrade the house, so we got an extra dude. Because that came before that building. It's been a long time since I played Lemmings. Got to get used to the flow and everything. It's a very cool idea. From the looks of things, and especially the way things have written so far. Can't say I'm hugely confident that this game's going to deliver the best example of it, but I'd love to keep an eye on it and find out. It's going to mine all the way through, which means people are going to start climbing that ladder if their hands are empty. Then they're going to bounce off that box, go over this side, bounce off that wall, and come back down. Okay, good. As long as they don't end up in the ocean or something. Or even if they do, they respawn in this game, which is interesting. And means it's fine. You can build that. We need to work out how this works and how we get the flow sorted here. Oh, 10 free ladders. Nice. So if they take a log there, they'll turn it into plank. So if I unlocked this, they'll grab an axe, chop a tree, get a log, bounce all the way over here. Could do with another sign, maybe. Or, yeah, you end up with a lot of signs around the place to control everything, I think. Don't know. We don't need more than 2, so we can do that for now. Because otherwise they'll make an infinite amount of... So you kind of need your buildings, which are quite... You know, they're taking up a lot of the space that's available on this map. And then you need a lot of signs in between them to tell everyone what to do. A bit concerning. Kind of like them to, yeah, free up the end slot here or something, so we can put another sign that says, if you've got a log, turn around straight away, save some time. That's not terribly important, because they make it back in the end. Dunno. You can build that. You just need to, maybe you just need to micromanage the whole thing. That might be the case. Turn things on and off all the time. If I just turn that off, they won't turn them into planks unless I ask for them. The shop will take planks, which you might as well, because they're free. Not free. Doesn't cost you anything to make them additional to what you're doing. So if I just unlock everything, out of curiosity at this point, I think we have a loop, you know, a good loop. Could do with, yeah, signs between everything to make it happen better. Or can we spend 10 mana moving the shop down here? How about that? Not sure, but we'll give it a go. Yeah, they're grabbing an axe the wrong way round. Not that that matters, it should sort itself out. This guy with the log's going to be the first thing. He stands there when the log is delivered. It's made into a plank for him, he takes it, delivers it for cash, bounces off the block and turns back, grabs an axe, chops down a tree, takes a log, which means he doesn't go up the ladder. Bounces off. Kind of irrelevant because... So this guy's here stood making his plank. If this guy with the second log walks past while they're making that plank, he's not going to make one. So he'll bounce off and go... When he's coming back the other way, he'll turn it into a plank and carry his plank all the way to the right. Which isn't a big deal. I think you just kind of leave it. They'll bounce off the firewall and eventually come back. But you could put a sign in before the house that says if you're carrying a plank, turn around. You could put a sign before the lumber mill that says if you're not carrying a log, turn around. I think that's unnecessary amount of fiddling, I guess. I don't know. Just leave them to it now. They'll get it done eventually, right? Apparently not. Apparently you need to take the money every time. Interesting. You can't just let the money bank up over here. You need to click it before they can deliver another one. It's a bit annoying. But sure, you know, that's how it works. Just got to get used to it. What are we missing anyway? Like, we now have a source of money, a reasonable source of money, but what do we need to do now? Get the other resources? A source of pickaxes and hammers? The stone is an interesting one because it's very finite. As you can buy stuff. No, you sell at the shop, you don't buy. Yeah. So the miner's shed makes a bunch of pickaxes, all well and good, but what are they going to pickaxe down? Interesting. Miner's shed will provide a pickaxe if you deliver a carrot. So should we set up food production? Again, it's a common issue for me in games like this, and especially at an early stage. I don't know what I'm supposed to build next. There's nothing in the tooltips that's going to tell me this is a good idea to build next, which is always a bit of a shame. You just end up, I guess, build one of everything, try and work out what would have been best, and then restart and do that. So the gold mine, 50% chance that you'll find gold. If not, you get your pickaxe back. So you want the miner to go into the gold mine. Is there something like that for stone? Doesn't look like it. So yeah, that for me is a bit of a gap. How do we get infinite stone? Maybe you don't. Selling will mine stone from dirt blocks. I guess you spawn a dirt block using mana. So we set up mana production. We can find some way of locking our miner in a little box so he doesn't take the pickaxe out. And then we spawn a dirt block in there anytime we want stone. Which again, a bit of a micromanagement involved in that, but if it works. Food, then, was a vegetable bed. We got money, let's buy one and find out what we do. This is kind of our wood production. I feel like doing this somewhere else. Not that we have anywhere else. What about up on top of the cliff? Maybe. We need to get these trees out of the way. Can I just... You know, we have an infinite source. Can I just get rid of these? Punch them? No. Move them, dot them, shield, bubble, parachute. None of them are going to get rid of it. What about down here? Dynamite? Yes. Buy dynamite. Get rid of these trees for us. But our vegetable bed... Let's go with there. Carrots, it said, was the one you early, so let's get 2... I doubt that's necessary, actually, thinking about it. One's probably enough, but there you go, 2 carrot beds. What's that? Can you guys see a black dot right above my cursor? Or have I got a dead pixel? I mean, it's bigger than a pixel. I can't see it on the OBS preview, so I think my monitor's dying again. More. Oh well. I want to put a sign here. Carrots. Stay up here. And is that it? I mean, they've planted a carrot already, and it's growing, so I guess I don't need anything else. What's the well for? Provides a bucket of water. Maybe that's for cooking. Right, yeah. Log, carrot, and water makes soup. Cool. Soup is needed for the builder house. Wow. Complicated. Not overly complicated, just maybe an appropriate amount of complicated. What do we do next then? The mining shed? I guess, and then I'll try and find a way of... Yeah, I do want to move these then. Move that. That's not a building, so it can't be moved. It's one of these. Can I dynamite it? Yeah, right. Give me a new vegetable bed. Need to keep collecting the money. That is a kind of user experience thing that could be improved. Either let the money build up, or automatically give it to me, or something like that. Having to come back here and click on it every time while I'm trying to get my head around what's going on in the game is... Oh yeah. Talking about personal preference here. Maybe some people want it to be a real brain melter. Just generally think that's not best for a game. What we could do with having is them not making more planks unless they can sell them. I don't think we have an option for. Because the guys are only going to come up here if they don't grab an axe. Which is something. Don't know. Maybe we just need more guys so that they overlap more. And if they overlap more, then they'll some of them won't pick up a thing and will come up the ladder and start working on these things. I mean, it's relatively easy to make a house for 2 extra guys and then try and get a bit of stone down here to get an extra guy after that. Could mine all the way through and see what happens if they don't have a bridge over the water. Pretty sure they're going to jump in. You can have the hammer, you'll build it on the way back. Good. What are we doing up here? A mining shed. Put it... Space is at a premium, so I guess right next to it's fine. I can't disable the vegetable bed, so I can't stop him from picking up a carrot if it's ready. That's somewhat annoying. Nice that he stays up here, but somewhat annoying. Need to punch him. Okay. Oh, we need to get logs up there as well. So what was cargo lift up? Put it underneath the building you're building and request wood log. Have that money. Up it goes. Okay, fine. That works well enough, it seems. Takes a long time to make that journey, but still. Good, that guy was there to do the delivery for us. Interesting. Grab that. Once we've built up a bunch of money, I can just disable the whole process down below and see what happens. It's interesting gameplay loop and stuff involved, like, you know, dynamiting stuff, destroying stuff, but once you've got the cash income to buy the things at the bottom of the screen, it all works well enough. Just this thing about not being able to stop getting the carrot is one thing. I mean, I can punch them to make them drop it, fine, but yeah, interesting. Oh, and you can stop delivering wood, that's not needed anymore. Bit of stone would be nice. Can we wasted a bit of wood, but that's infinite at the moment, so I'll do that. It's also interesting, they're only really using 4 of these trees, so if we could force the 5th one to get cut, I could move that sign over. Maybe? I mean, why don't we just dynamite that? Can't move a sign, it's not a thing, it's one of these. Sapling that way. And then we, I guess, demolish, so yeah, you just have to like demolish and rebuild and whatever to get these moving, flowing, free them. Also appears, if you're on fast forward and you pause, give an instruction to someone and unpause, then it sets you back to normal speed. If you're on fast forward and you pause and unpause, it stays on fast forward. When you give the instruction, it seems to change, which Not sure about that. We have an issue here. Pretty big one. I'm telling them to go back if they've got a carrot. I need them to go back if they're carrying a pickaxe as well. So why don't I use a wooden block to lift to that level? Put another sign in. You can't do two things on one side, but you can do all or nothing, I guess. Don't know. Pickaxe, stay that way. Then I don't know what you do. I mean, he's going to mine this, which is fine. Although I've got nowhere for the stone to go. So I don't actually want to be doing this at the moment. But that's fine. He can mine that bit. We'll take it. I know this house already got the bit because yeah. I mean, it works, is one thing. I'd quite like to mine a bit of this out anyway to get it squarer. But, you know, we don't have time to play a lot longer. So my theory is you just put a wooden block there. No, because they'll climb that with their pickaxe. Interesting. I think the location is awful for it, but when these guys are back over, or even, yeah, put that there, they won't climb it. Then anytime we need a bit of stone, you just dirt block spell into there, and they would mine it. Get the carrot, put it in, get the axe, mine it, take the stone back down here. What they do with it down here, I don't know. Fine, conceptually. Placing that has caused him to walk over the top though, so I guess you place it one further forward. Lesson learned. You need a mana income to make the blocks. Where was, oh, that was one of these as well. Mana cauldron. You can put that there. And it can take any type of food, so you can just use carrots. Put a veggie bed there for carrots. And if they've got them, it doesn't really matter where they go. So could mean we let them move out of this upper zone with the carrot, because they just come down here and make mana with it. If they can't get the pickaxe with it, that might work, you know. Better than we currently have it. So you can't stop them getting the carrot. So yeah, let's turn the carrot sign around so they are allowed out with it. They can use that to make mana in addition to the one that's already down here. I'd quite like them, if they reach the shop and they can't put the plank in because I haven't taken the money away, I'd quite like them to kind of dump it, if that was an option. Can we cargo balloon down? Just out of interest, I need a bit more mana. This guy with the carrot is up here still. That's fine, I'm just going to do that to shorten the journey. Because yeah, that's what they're going to end up doing. One goes up and plants a carrot, the next one that ends up there will pick it up. Throw it in here, fine. Take the other one, throw it in there. I'll move the shop over one. Still want planks. Yep, and they still sell it when they land. And then I'm just curious, can we cargo balloon down at the end here? And it just sends it under the water? Forever? not sure that's doing what I want. You put it into the water, it doesn't destroy it. So, nope. I don't know what else there is. I mean, you just have to take the money every time, I'm sure. Not a big deal, but okay. At the moment, no one is planting new saplings because they've always got something in their hand. So it would have been better if that was to the left of this and this was above that and that, so on and so on and so on. I guess you can use your blocks and your ladders to control what's done first, what's done second, that kind of thing. I think it would take a long, long time to master a game like this and actually get things working well. Not even to master it, just to be reasonably okay at it, I think it would take a long time. Which is, it's interesting. For sure. How long have we been playing? Like an hour already, yeah. Grab that money. Still, so the fire camp is just used to move people, right? It's a crowd control tool, yeah. If it's lit, they won't go through it. That's all. So it's like a sign. Why would you use a campfire when you could just use a sign pointing the other way? And then, don't know. Sure, there's a reason. Cargo lift up. We could send the planks up instead, all the way to the dragon. Maybe the dragon will destroy them for us. I don't know. Worth a shot. Cargo lift up. Plank. I'll have the money, but we'll see what happens. I think it is just designed that you would you'd micromanage it or stop them from picking things up in the first place if they happen to pick up something you didn't want them to. I don't know. Punch them, I guess, is the deal. So you have to do it all manually, you know. Lots of... More like a God game. With lots of interaction rather than a town building game where you leave them to it, kind of, you know what I mean? Interesting. Just going to leave one so we can see what happens. Curious. Goes the plank. This is on the fastest forward. Takes a while. Ah, there is a limit. A height limit where they just give up and leave it. Okay. That won't do what I want then. Bridge. Yeah. Dummy. Gives them tools and weapons. Doesn't give them... Won't take things off them. Still not sure how that works. Don't think I have the brain power to work that out at the moment. So, work frenzy. No. Nope. Don't think there's an option. We are kind of good on money for a while though, so maybe we do get everyone to free their hands up. Stop giving axes. So that process will begin. One person will get stuck bouncing back and forth with a sapling. Someone's carrying a lump of rock, and they have been for a while. Everyone will start looping around and getting carrots instead. Which we can't stop them, I guess. Campfire. Let's stop them. We, So campfire costs 1 coin and a sign costs 4. That's probably why the campfire is better than a sign that you swap back and forth. Makes sense. Good, there's one more plank to get sold off. So we can switch off the lumber mill. Don't think we need to switch off the shop. It's fine sitting there doing nothing. I could swap it to carrots or whatever if that made a difference. Okay. Can you dynamite those blocks in the air? Yeah, okay. Rather than like... Could give people a pickaxe and let them step up onto one ladder or something, I guess, maybe to go across. That's simple enough. There's some headroom to build buildings in. What haven't we looked at that could be interesting for a little bit of time before we wrap up? A tavern makes wine. Right. When an artist makes the things that upgrade the house again, using stone, wine and a hammer. So that's quite a late thing. We still don't have the hammer, which requires soup. At a cooking spot? Cooked soup. Required for militia training as well. We haven't even looked at the combat involved in the game. I mean, there's quite a lot of content here for a demo. Very reasonable amount, yeah. Way more than my brain can handle in one day, so it's kind of good. What's that about farm? Provide seeds if they give it a water bucket. Seeds are planted in the next available field. Okay, what does that grow into? Training spot. No idea what that's doing. Is that wheat? Can't really tell what the icons are, what they mean. Training spot for a basic attack unit. Peasants have 1 health and the fork does 1 damage. So you give it wheat and it trains a unit maybe, and wheat comes from the farm. The seed for the wheat comes from the farm, and the seed needs planting in the dirt or the vegetable bed or something like that. Military Academy, a small armory. High level stuff. Should we look at that combat wise just to see what it takes to make one? Kind of interested. So we need a farm, a well and a farm. Ooh, farm is a big building. Okay. Alright. Need a hammer. Need people to take axes. Switch the shop off, but allow planks to be made. That gives us 2 vegetable beds. Interesting. From the well. They don't usually need water, so I'm going to assume that the farm plants into vegetable beds. Little birds flying around. Nice. Come out of the trees when you shop. Cool. He's picked up water. Let's disable that. Someone needs to make what we're after. He's going to make a plank, finally. Anyone else? That guy's going to go make a plank. Anyone else? Pick up an axe. Me punch the water guy. Axe wasn't made in time. Oh, he had one. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. If you want one that's really going to smooth your brain over, this is an interesting idea. Okay, one more is currently being made, so we've chopped too much wood, never mind. I don't know if we want more people. We can't keep track of the ones we've got, but don't know if that makes it easier or harder the more you have. Don't need that. Oh, that's interesting. He put it in and I disabled it afterwards, so it deleted it. Fine by me. If you spawn the game with 10 hammers, I think we got some for free after building something, but only some. And to produce more hammers, you need to be producing soup. Guess you should be prioritizing that. It's only log, carrot, and water, so it's not crazy. But it's like there is an order, a sequence that you should be building things in. That is peasant. Okay. We've got some free military unit. If we unlock that... Yeah, they plant it in the dirt. Okay. Fine, I mean, they can fill that in, I guess. No. Put a sign just to make sure no seeds go further, just in case. I've disabled it, but that's just in case. Get rid of your water. So once that's grown, they're going to harvest the wheat. I think that goes into training spot. Looks like it. That's not a big enough spot for that. Okay. Why not? I want it to be. Why isn't it? It's a pretty big building. Okay. Allow axes again. And yeah, a couple of guys are going to run around with wheat at the moment. The fast forward could do with being faster, I would say. And I know that's something that I'm me. I like it when there's super duper fast forwards. But I can't see anyone playing the game at normal speed. Like, either you're paused or this is too slow. And the difference between 2 times and 3 times is not significant. So, as long as you can maintain stability, it would be good if you could fast forward even more for when you're just waiting for people to bounce around off things. Do you want someone, I guess we'll waste a bit of wheat? No. Get a new guy. You. Have a hammer. Build me this training spot. I get a bunch of money for that. Nice. Okay. And here comes one bit of wheat. Here comes the second bit of wheat. He stands... Oh, so he delivers it but doesn't hang around. It's interesting. Different to others. There's an animation of him standing and then we get the peasant ability. So if we then ladder up here... Give the next guy peasant. Made him jump behind the other guy. Can't climb a ladder if you've got something in your hand. Interesting. And we can't get up that distance. Can't do that, it's too close to the enemy. Okay. Can I put a... Is it personal lift that does this? Everyone. Or I could restrict that to be peasant only, right? Yeah. But we need a surface for that to lift through, I think. Where are my peasants? Come on over. You can be a peasant too. Come on up. See if you can defeat one skeleton. Up he goes. Swinging back and forth. Oh, he lost, and we lost a health. And we respawn. There we go. Okay, but in theory we could set up an ongoing peasant training and have enough people and so on. It's interesting. You just have to, yeah, switch things on and off to control. It's not a game of automation. Oh, also he regains his health when our guy died, so we're never going to win that fight. With a peasant. We might win it with a soldier or whatever comes later, but... Unless it's random? Oh, it is random. They just keep missing until they don't. Fine. Okay, interesting. As I say, I'm not wowed by the look or the mood of it so far. I think the game needs a lot of work to become something that, you know, is really good. But the core concept behind it is really fun. Like I said at the start, not really seen the lemmings be used as a control mechanism anywhere really, and it works. I think the concept is perfectly fine. You do need big brain to work out how you're going to arrange stuff and actually get it properly functional. So yeah, not one I think I could ever master, but interesting nevertheless. Very glad that we took a look at it here as part of the Tiny Teams Festival, along with all those other games we've been playing. I don't know. I mean, you guys will have to let me know what you think of this one. If you have the brain to try it out, whether you think it is viable or not. I think it could be good. We'll see how it goes. In any case, thank you very much for joining me as we've taken a look at the settlings today.